Viridian, The Green Guide, by Clouds. My head in the clouds not coming down. Read by Ogawa 5. Chapter 67. Legacy. Summary. Life moves forward. Ogawa could feel other people inside his head, and it was the weirdest sensation he'd ever felt. He saw them sometimes, in the long hours where he slept between sessions with the doctor. Dark, shadowy figures with glowing eyes that didn't know how to react to him, just like he didn't know how to react to them. As weird as it was, though, at least it made the whole experience less lonely. Kumo seemed to think the same thing, considering he wouldn't stop asking questions about them. He heard Kumo roll over and take a breath, and just knew that he was going to ask something else ridiculous. Have you tried talking to them? They don't talk. Ogawa rolled his eyes. They're just there. I don't know how to explain it, and honestly, I think I'm getting better at ignoring them. I can hardly feel them at all if I'm not thinking about them. Do you think they're getting weaker, or you're just getting used to it? Kumo sat up. Or do you think that they're integrating into you? Ogawa couldn't help laughing. What? You think that they're becoming me or something? More like you're becoming them. Kumo's eyes shone with excitement and curiosity. Because your quirk changed when they showed up, right? What if it's a part of them? Ogawa paused. Something about that felt right, somehow, but he couldn't put his finger on why exactly. You think that my quirk somehow mixed with theirs or something, and that's why I can feel them? Kumo shrugged. I mean, maybe. And if your quirks combined, your personalities might blend together too. Because that's not creepy at all. Ogawa swallowed nervously. If Kumo was right, was he even him anymore? If not, then who was he? He didn't know anything about the people that these monsters had forced into his head. What if one of them was pure evil or something, and all that work he'd done in the redemption group was all for nothing? What if one of them liked to hurt people, and he got out of here only to try and hurt his friends? I don't think I'd like that. Kumo shrugged. Well, until then I guess you've got live-in friends. I'll try not to be jealous. Ogawa laughed. Jealous that I have other friends, or jealous that they live in my head? Why not both? Kumo grinned and laid back down. Who knows, maybe I get some live-in friends of my own. Ogawa frowned. From what Kumo had told him, he'd mostly just been there, while other prisoners came and went from the cell next door. But shortly after Ogawa had woken up with the other people in his head, the doctor had started dragging Kumo away to have sessions of his own. The first time had been terrifying, because Ogawa thought that their captors had somehow just gotten bored of his cellmate and they were going to get rid of him, and he'd never see him again. But he'd come back, unconscious and in pain, just like Ogawa had from his first session. Ogawa had thought his own sessions would stop after that, since apparently whatever they tried to do was successful, but instead the torture had simply changed gears. Before, the pain had come from whatever drugs they gave him, but now the pain seemed more like a punishment. It was almost like they were training him just like someone would train a new puppy, except for the fact that they used torture instead of a spray bottle. Ogawa didn't know why exactly, but he knew that the doctor wanted them to be obedient. He lay down onto his back and sat at the ceiling of his cell. Between the training and the other people in his head, it was only a matter of time before he lost himself completely. He needed to get out of here before he wasn't him anymore. Congratulations, everyone! Amplifier smiled brightly, her voice echoing around the room. Your participation in the villain rehabilitation program is now complete. Everyone cheered, and Katsuki joined in half-heartedly. Today was supposed to be happy. They'd done it. They'd fulfilled all the requirements and basically graduated and theoretically become better people. Those who had arrest records would have them wiped, and they finally had a chance to start over and do things legally this time. It was wonderful. But Ogawa was missing it. He was missing it and going through who knew what, and Katsuki couldn't even help him because he wasn't a hero yet. He wasn't an idiot. He'd known when he'd done that favor for Darby that he was operating on the grey side of the law, but it hadn't really kicked in how dangerous that might be until after Endeavor had resurfaced, tearing shit up and going crazy. If he'd gotten caught trespassing, or Icyheart had called for the police or something, Bakugo could have gotten a mark on his record that would prevent him from applying to UA. Even worse, if the wrong people had been listening when he was asking around, he could find himself disappeared right beside Ogawa, and no one would even know to look for him, because he hadn't told anyone what he was doing. That was why, after Endeavor had burned himself out, Katsuki had gone to the heroes and offered to help. That way, he wouldn't get in trouble, and if anything went wrong, he'd have a whole team of heroes waiting to bail him out. But then, of course, they'd said no. Katsuki could begrudgingly respect their reasoning, especially since half the news reports from the night Endeavor went crazy highlighted how badly the former number 2 hero wanted to tear Viridian, who couldn't be that much older than Katsuki was, limb from limb. Still, it hurt to not be able to do anything when he felt like he should be out there, being a hero and saving his friend, so he thrown himself into preparing for the entrance exam instead. Akiko elbowed him in the side. "Hey, you doing okay, Kachan?" Katsuki blinked and shrugged. "Just kinda feels wrong to celebrate without him, you know. This was supposed to be his day too." She smiled sadly. "Yeah, I miss him too. But hey, I know he'd be super proud of you if he were here. I know me and Maki are." After squeezing his arm reassuringly, she turned back to the front and Katsuki did the same. He could at least try to enjoy it, he supposed. It wasn't like he was off the case forever, just until he got into UA and was on his way to becoming a hero. He just had to be patient. "For our final takeaway today," Amplifier continued, "there's one final lesson we'd like you to take with you and remember as you go forward into the rest of your lives. The lesson is, pay it forward. When you enrolled in this course, you were given an opportunity. An opportunity to have your criminal records wiped, yes, but also an opportunity to become a better person. You've learned a lot of concepts and gained a lot of skills, but you're going to meet people in the world who don't have that. It will help you maintain the progress you've made if you lift them up and help them become better as well." Katsuki wasn't really sure he was qualified to help other people when he was just barely learning how to not be an asshole himself, but maybe eventually, when he was a pro, he'd find a way to do it. Not that most people would trust a guy who swore and hung out with villains to be a paragon of heroic morality, but he'd take what he could get if it meant saving the most people and being a true hero. He just had to get into UA first. Shoto was still trying to convince himself that none of this was a dream. His father was well and truly gone. He and his siblings had inherited the house, and Natsuo was working on getting their mother released from the hospital. It was weird. "I think we should sell it," Natsuo said, blowing on his soup to cool it off. Fuyumi sighed. "We can't just sell our children home, Natsuo." "Why not?" Natsuo asked. "There's nothing but bad memories here, and it'll be like one last giant fuck you to the old man." "He was our father," Fuyumi insisted. "I know he wasn't the best, but—" "He was still a jerk," Shoto said. "But I'm with Fuyumi on this one. If we sell the house, Toya wouldn't be able to find us." "Not this again," Natsuo groaned. "One talk with an informant, and all of a sudden you're a conspiracy theorist." "Well, who else would know the things Kachan knew, and would care enough to ask if we were doing all right?" Shoto pointed out. "Toya obviously hired him to ask us so we wouldn't recognize him." The other two hadn't even believed the conversation had actually happened when Shoto had first told them. It was only when a detective showed up asking the exact same questions that Kachan had that they actually gave in and admitted that the conversation had to have happened, just like Shoto said it had. Shoto had asked the detective if he knew Kachan, and the detective's shoulders had slumped and he'd looked dead inside. But he'd responded that the kid was an informant trying to weasel his way into the case. The look of realization in his siblings' eyes had been extremely satisfying, but they still wouldn't believe that their brother might be alive. "Look, even if Toya were alive, which he's not," Natsuo said, "then why hasn't he come to see us? Dad's dead. There should be no reason for him to stay away if he's alive." Shoto shrugged. "Maybe he's shy." Fuyumi sighed. "Can we just drop it? And no, Natsuo, I haven't changed my mind about selling the house." "Whatever," Natsuo pouted. "At this rate, we're not gonna sell it until Shoto graduates from UA." Shoto poked absently at his dinner. At least they let him keep his recommendation spot after Endeavor had been discredited. He didn't know why they wouldn't, but politics were funny like that sometimes. Still, he proved that he'd be a better hero than Endeavor ever could. Not that his father had set the bar very high. Ooh, the Endeavor bashing from Shoto at the end. And we finally got another snippet from Ogawa and Kumo. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 67 of Viridian the Green Guide, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Hey, outtakes! Chapter... Great. In the intro.